welcome to our friends from Qrios. Thank you.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Ideon Breakfast and I'm a recruitment consultant at Qrios Life Science and Engineering. And with me today I have my colleague Anders Markusson, who is our group manager for recruitment operations. So don't hesitate to come up and chat to Anders or myself here after our talk, and we have some goodie bags as well, so don't be shy. So, Qrios, what do we do? Yeah, what do we do? So we support companies in finding the right talents for you, and we are providing recruitment and consultancy services, mainly within the areas of life science and engineering, and with that we mean pharma, medtech, biotech, food safety, chemistry, as well as infrastructure, energy and environment, construction, and industries. And all our team members at Qrios come with a background into the areas that they are recruiting into. And that means internally at Qrios we have knowledge of the entire chain, from research and development through clinical studies to manufacturing, distribution and commercialization. We have offices in Malmö, Gothenburg, Stockholm and Uppsala, and we work very closely with the different science hubs across the countries, or across the country, across Sweden. So we have partnership with Karolinska Institute Science Park, and we are also an active member of Medicon Valley Alliance. And to give you a flavor of the different roles and companies that we are recruiting into, we are working both with larger companies, but also with many smaller startup and scale-up companies. And you will be able to find all our job openings on our website, qrios.se. So our work gives us a really interesting and unique insight behind the scenes of both candidates and employers. And we would like to share with you today some of the greatest challenges in a recruitment process according to employers. So statistics from the Recruitment Report 2022 show that 26% of all employers, hiring managers, find the greatest challenge in recruitment to have enough time to interview applicants. And this is particularly about screening interviews and in-depth interviews, but actually also 21% find it very difficult to have the time to answer questions from candidates that could be on the application, or on the recruitment process, or on the position. So as a hiring manager, and it might be that you're not hiring today, but I find the chances quite high that you who are sitting here in this building today will be looking for your next colleagues as you grow and continue to innovate. Hiring manager must really take the time, allocate the time to ensure that they communicate with the candidates, because if not, one candidate who is not feeling that they have the attention or feels forgotten can really damage the company's reputation. So that above 20% do not have the time to answer questions from candidates, it means that there's really a need to allocate time for the process, but also to use the right tools. And one of the solutions could be automation or digitalization, and this is something that the recruitment platform can support you with. And I will come back to that a little bit later in my presentation. So I would like to present you with some important factors when recruiting. What do you need to consider? To start with, you need to really spend time on a requirements profile, a needs analysis. Is this a new position? Are you growing? What are the requirements for the role? Can the skills be found internally? If you're replacing your colleague, maybe there's a chance to adapt the role. Maybe it's not looking the same as it did half a year ago or a year ago. Then writing a job advertisement. Many people might think that's easy, that's just to put together a text. But actually, this is a very important part of the process, because here you really want to attract the right candidates. So you need to think about which words are good for search engines. How do algorithms work? How do we push out the job advertisement to the right channels? And also the advertising part, it can be quite costly. How do you know where to advertise? The cost can be between 15,000 and actually up to 100,000 kroners. When you take help from a recruitment partner like Qrios, you will naturally have access to our discounts. So you posted the advertisement, your applications are ticking in. It's time to allocate time for selection. And again, have that timely communication with candidates, because they will also be asking questions about the requirements, about the process, what's the next step. You need to allocate time for booking and confirming interviews with candidates, and also to prepare and structure the interviews. And this is a very important part. Research shows that 50% of job applicants have turned down a job because of a poor interview. It could be that it wasn't structured, or the interviewer talked too much, or wasn't able to answer questions about the job, or no feedback was provided after the interview. After the interviews, or in parallel, you need to allow time for reference taking. This is a very important part of the process. What tools do you use? Are you complying with GDPR? What are you doing with the information that you get from the reference takings? And what are you using it for? So when you partner with Qrios, we work with a very structured recruitment process. So together with our customers, we will look at the requirements profiling, the needs analysis. We will challenge our customers a bit to maybe think in different paths to ensure that you're really looking for different opportunities, and that you really capture those competences that your company needs to grow and to continue to innovate. We will support you or the customers with design of the job advertisement, and we will make sure that it's published in the right channels. And naturally, our customers will have access to our advertising discounts. As it is today, we know that candidates can be difficult to find. It's not only about advertising and pray to the gods that we will have lots of candidates with the perfect qualifications. So we will map the market, we will do manual search within our networks, outside our networks, and really spend a lot of time on finding that right person. And we will handle the screening interviews and also the in-depth interviews, sometimes together with the customers. And we will also manage all the communication with the candidates, including no thank yous, rejections, feedbacks, etc. To ensure that we find the right person to the right position, we believe that personality tests and aptitude tests are an important part of the whole package. So we will take use of those tests. All our recruitment consultants are certified in using tests like Matrigma and measuring and assessing potential. Those are qualified tests that are quite commonly used in the industry. And like I said, we're all certified to handle both the feedback and to do the analysis of those tests. And then we will select and present the final candidates who meet the requirements profile to our customer. We will take care of the reference checks, background controls, if relevant. And we also offer a quality guarantee to our customers, and that means that if, after all, it didn't turn out to be the right candidate, we will redo the recruitment process free of charge. So a few more tips for you when you are looking to recruit. Maybe it's now, maybe it's in the future. Number one, do look outside of your own network. Of course, you know your business, you have the contacts, you maybe hired a few people from your immediate network, but if you're going to continue to grow and innovate, then you need to look outside of your own networks as well. I use my gut feeling when recruiting. That's something that we as recruitment consultants hear quite often from our hiring managers. We believe that recruitment is not an area where you should use your gut feeling. Gut feeling feels nice, it feels reliable, but there are so many more parts to recruitment. It can actually be quite a complex process to find the right person. So we established that recruitment takes quite a considerable amount of time. And our recommendation is to get a recruitment partner that has a background into the industries that you are hiring into, someone who's measuring customer satisfaction, and who has a large network. We can support you with the full process. We can also support you with parts of the process. If you, for example, have time and only want help with certain parts of the recruitment, or if you decide to recruit yourself, we strongly recommend that you digitalize your recruitment process by using a recruitment platform that can simplify your everyday work with automation and digitalization. So what does that mean, digitalization in the recruitment process? We use a digitalized recruitment platform, and that not only makes us more efficient, but you will also have a more transparent and fairer recruitment process. Here we focus on competences and not on how beautiful or creative a CV is looking. And no CVs will be accidentally deleted or maybe stuck in junk mail or stuck in a personal inbox. And also, you will not have GDPR compliance conflicts. So it allows you to automate the steps like communication, maybe the first selection, maybe you have a requirement that the candidate should all have a certain certification or a language skill. So what the recruitment platform will help you with are those sort of steps. Then you can spend time, or your recruitment partner can spend time on the parts that really matters to find the right candidate, like structure and interviews, in-depth interviews, etc. So why are we talking to you today about those important factors? Yes, we would like to introduce Qrios to you as a company, but also we really would like you to avoid facing the consequences of a poor recruitment and a bad hire, because not only will it cost you a large amount of money, but say, for example, if your requirement profile was not done in detail, maybe the candidates are not understanding the requirements of the job and cannot perform. Maybe the person is not getting on with the team and your team motivation is going down, the team is suffering from well-being issues. Maybe the person is misbehaving, your customer value is at risk. And maybe you hired someone from in your network who's a friend of a friend or someone that you know personally, maybe based on gut feeling, then that can be even more tricky and awkward. So if you don't have time to recruit, if you don't have time to search outside of your networks, if you don't have time to challenge yourself on what are the real requirements and competences needed for this role, then we advise you to get help from a recruitment consultant. If you do have time but would like help with certain parts, maybe the requirements profile, maybe with search, finding candidates outside of your network, then you can also get help from someone like us. Or if you decide to recruit yourself, ensure that you digitalize your process, because that will make you much more efficient and you will face a more structured and a more GDPR compliance and fair recruitment process. And like I said, we can support you with all those steps, the full process, parts, or introducing you to a recruitment platform.
And we give it a big hand.